Here is a Rival branded fan forced electric heater comprised of all metal, the way it should be. No plastic to be worried about combusting. I don't pick up heaters much anymore. I just don't really have a use for them. At the old location, I used to use a heater in the studio because there was no formal source of heat in that room. But here, I've got the heat pump in this room, which is much more cost effective to operate, more powerful. I have the 220 volt unit in the garage, which is also more cost effective to operate, more powerful. Sometimes I like a heater in the bathroom in the winter, particularly a radiant heater. It just feels nice after you take a shower, because in this house the wood stove is on the end of the house, and as you get towards the middle on the other side it gets cooler. Bathroom's around the middle, but it's a little chilly in the bathroom sometimes, so maybe I'll use this in the bathroom from time to time. But I grabbed it anyways because Rival makes a very good heater. I have a much more compact, almost cube shaped unit that's also made by Rival, and it's probably of a very similar age. It's the same kind of color scheme, same knob. I don't hear anything clicking. I wonder if that's working properly. I suspect this is a 90s product. I don't think it's that old. There's control number and serial number. Perhaps the date can be derived from the serial number. It's an awfully small serial number. Maybe this is only the 411th unit made. It is model T-113/1, 1250 watts maximum. So it's not a full 1500 watts heater. Use wall or base outlet only. Do not use an extension cord. Not sure what it's referring to as a base outlet. Not a lot of airflow in the back. I suppose it probably was done to keep dust from getting in the unit when it's off. Some more vents on the side. Probably perfectly adequate airflow because these fans don't move a whole lot of air to begin with. The windings in that motor are pretty serious. I wonder if the fan motor serves as some kind of transformer as well. Sometimes well, this is not a 2-speed one though. I don't know, we'll have to see how it operates. It's a metal base, non-adjustable. It's a little top heavy towards the back, definitely not going to tip towards the front. That screw is coming out. Let's put that back in. Cord is polarized. It's got that typical deteriorating rubber cord for a higher power appliance feel to it. This is literally a heater cord. It's only a 16.2. Really wish these would have been made with 14.2. In short runs, 16.2 can handle 1200 watts, but it's just not a lot. Doesn't give you a lot of room. Alright, so we're testing at 119.3 volts. It's going to drop down a lot because the circuit over here is all the way on the opposing side from the electrical panel, and it's still operating on the flaky wiring that was set up before I bought the house. Hopefully this winter I will be able to have time to replace that, and then we don't have to worry about voltage drop over here anymore. But it's connected. I'll turn it on now. It looks pretty clean. Fan blade looks pretty clean. It's probably low hours. Here we go. Well, the bearings certainly need to be serviced, to say the least. Actually, that's putting out an impressive amount of air. Much more than I would have expected. And I don't think it'd be that loud if it wasn't for all that rattling. It blows out to this side real strong, but not to the other side, like hardly at all. It's kind of weird. That's pretty good airflow for a heater. Power consumption is 1,108 watts kilowatts, 9.72 the amps, and 0.99 the power to factor, and the volts have gone down to 114.1 the volts. If it wasn't for all that stinking rattling, this would probably be relatively quiet. There's no fan setting only, so we'll just have to shut it off and all the heat just stays in the machine. Well, the bearings are plenty free, they're just rattly. Not bad. Throws out a decent amount of air. This is one of those heaters that's going to work more off of airflow as opposed to hot air. This probably has no thermal overload, unless it's somewhere not in plain sight, which just gets a little dodgy because if the fan was ever to stall, which as we could hear it's probably not far from that point, the coils are just going to glow red hot. Now granted, inside a metal box, is it likely to cause anything catastrophic? Probably not, but it's certainly not ideal. And you probably would be relying on a circuit breaker to trip out if the coil just got so hot to the point where it melted and then shorted on the housing. It's also not grounded. I had a conversation with somebody a couple months ago, and we kind of concluded that the ceramic style heaters with the really thick ceramic element is probably the safest type of heater, because if you had a no airflow situation, it wouldn't just continue to heat up and glow red hot. It would just get to a certain high temperature and just sit there and not really glow and probably ignite something. But I still would trust something like this more just because it's metal. So many of the heaters today are encased in plastic, and with a design like this, if that element started to heat up in a plastic housing, oh, that's a scary thought. So only heaters like this for me.